Hi. So today I'm going to address a complex and controversial topic, which is prostitution. So in chapter 13, that's what it means. We're talking about is prostitution, and we're going to talk about whether it should be considered a choice, and based on that, whether it should be legalized or not. So we got to begin or start with the main question: is prostitution truly a choice? The answer: it depends. It's not often. It's not. Many people, particularly women, enter sex work due to poverty, lack of education, abuse, addiction, and cohesion. For them, prostitution is not a freely made decision. It's a survival strategy, and it's faced of limited options. However, it is also true that some individuals do choose sex work voluntarily, seeing it as a form of economic empowerment or personal autonomy. So some people just do it for the desire of it, while others are forced into it. But regardless of why someone enters prostitution, criminalizing them does not solve the problem. In fact, criminalization does make it 1,000 times worse. Which leads us to our next question. To our next question, which was, if I do, or if it is truly a choice, should it be legalized? Prostitution should be legalized and regulated, because some people just do it just to do it for the sexual desire of it, and it kind of ties with my human sexuality class, like it's a whole thing. Not because it is a perfect solution, but because it's a humane thing, realistic, and effective way to protect sex workers and society. And there is evidence to back this up. So countries like New Zealand and parts of Australia have decriminalized or legalized sex work. The results in this: sex workers report better health outcomes, improved safety, and stronger ability to report abuse or human trafficking to the police. In contrast, in places where prostitution is criminalized, such as many parts of the U.S., sex workers often fear arrest more than their own exploitation. Because that is how they make a living, and that's how they are able to make money and pay bills if they do. From a legal standpoint, legalization allows regulation. So like health checks, safe working conditions, and protection from cohesion. So that's what they mean, they have better health outcomes, because I'm pretty sure they have to do that monthly and get checked, to make sure they don't have diseases or HPV or something like that. And so it redirects law enforcement resources towards stopping human trafficking, and rather than punishing consensual adults, because they are consenting to it. Now, some argue that legalizing prostitution legitimizes the exploitation of women, but the reality is exploitation thrives in the shadows. Criminalization drives sex work underground, making it harder to distinguish between consensual sex and trafficking. Legalization brings the industry into open, where it can be monitored, reformed, and made safer. So they're just saying, basically, that we can find safer ways for people to do all that stuff and everything without doing all the other stuff. But from an ethical standpoint, we have to ask ourselves, should we criminalize people for what they do with their own bodies? We can't arrest someone for working in a dangerous factory, even if the economic pressure is what drove them there. Why should sex work be any different, honestly? Especially when criminalization adds stigma and legal risk without addressing root causes. Legalization is not an endorsement of prostitution. It is an acknowledgement of reality. People will continue to sell sex whether they like it or not. Our duty is to minimize harm, not moralize it. So I'm not trying to agree, because yeah, it is bad, but we honestly can't control what people do, honestly. But like if we can like minimize like the amount of prostitution that does happen, like that would be better for the economy. And I'm not shaming anyone. Like if you do that, that's you. I'm gonna stay in my own lane. But yeah. But to conclude it, prostitution is sometimes a choice, but it does reflect on inequality. But yet criminalization only deepens that inequality. And by legalizing and regulating sex work, we offer safety, dignity, and justice to those in the industry, and we take a meaningful step towards reducing abuse and exploitation. And like, while like saying all this, like you can kind of like, that's like basic. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but like that just kind of concludes it. Thank you.